Dad's a rural GP and was born and bred in Nanango, and we eventually moved and lived back in Kingaroy. Mum was a nurse. They actually met in a place called Lowson House, which is a mental health unit at the Royal Brisbane Hospital, where apparently they fluttered eyes whilst trying to deal with a particular patient, which I think is quite funny. And the irony of it is the fact that I actually am now in mental health. Being the oldest of 4 children, somewhere in my brain, I don't know why, I always thought to myself, geez, I wouldn't mind having 4 kids if I ever get married and go down that path. And lo and behold, I had my 4. Very proud of all my kids. One's doing a Diploma of Beauty, one's an apprentice carpenter, one's doing a Bachelor of Nursing, and my youngest is still at school. I've certainly supported them in all their endeavours, whether it be singing and dancing and ballet and whatever it be. I've supported 2 of my boys with their rugby league because they've loved playing footy, and I've been managing for, geez, I think 15 years now with their sport. In regard to why I decided to do mental health nursing, I tend to find I was one of very few nurses who really wanted to look after the people who had sort of, tried to end their lives or the like in the ICU area. And I suppose that then led me to move on to do my psychiatric training. 10th of November 2006, my world changed, I suppose. It's when I had an accident and ended up in a wheelchair. To be honest, I have no actual recollection or memory of it. One of the theories is that I was potentially assaulted and thrown off this stairwell in this park area where I ended up landing on my back.
Andrew started work with us probably about 6 months before his accident. I will never forget the Saturday that I was actually at a shopping centre with my children. I got a call from Andrew's wife saying that he'd had an accident and that it was very serious. I remember him waking up, he couldn't speak, but he wrote on a sketch pad, just won't be at work for a while. And that, I guess, just sums Andrew up.
I did my rehab pretty well and was out of hospital in 4 months rather than the average 6, because I just wanted to get out of there and get home and be with the family and the kids. For the first few years after my accident, my wife was incredibly supportive of me when assisted us to build the house we live in now, or I live in now. Unfortunately, with I suppose the brevity of my accident, a range of other sort of family things happening at the time. A few years back we separated. There's obviously myself and the children, and they had to, I suppose, pitch in and help out. I've got to say I'm not much of one to really consciously think things through. I do things because they seem to be the right thing to do at any given time. Whether it be I'll put my hand up to be the manager of the footy club, or being asked to be on the board of Mantle, for example. I thought, well, what's the reason that I wouldn't do that? The great news is we've had approval from the Brisbane City Council to build 14 apartments plus a carers unit. We've secured land at Mitchelton.
What's lovely about Andrew is his compassion for people. He has worked as a psychiatric mental health nurse for many years of his professional life. And when he came onto the board of Mantle Housing, he could see the connection between who he was working with and the needs that they had, and what Mantle Housing could provide for people, a safe, long-term environment. Just like he is with his children, looking after them and understanding their needs and being there for them with that same compassion, he brings that to the workplace and to the work that he does on the Mantle board, and really grounds the work that we do.
I'd like to think my kids are good people. They've been brought up with some very good values. I think they're honest and truthful, and I think I'd like to think they've got those values from myself. Until you don't have children, you don't really know, I suppose, what you're missing out in terms of relationships with your kids.
I hate to think what score I get if it really actually tastes all right.
I can't say my family's perfect, and we've gone through some tough times with certain things, but it's all turned out pretty well at the moment. So yeah, cross my fingers, I suppose.
If I had to sum up Dad, I would say he's courageous, he's a fighter, he's a smart man, and he loves his children. He loves with his actions, and actions speak louder than words.